All right. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Sales Manager Academy podcast. As always, I'm your host, Omar, and we love to talk about anything retail related as far as leadership goes, best practices, ways to really step up as a leader for your team. And when we talk about retail, we're talking about boutique retail, right? So think of like wireless retail, think of AV sales, appliance sales, stuff that's not your normal big box retailer, right? This is more of a specialty, and oftentimes it's not just a physical product, but it's more so the services that go with the product. That's a big takeaway for the organization. And as leaders, we're trying to find ways to make sure that our teams are succeeding, regardless of what's going on in the economy, regardless of what might be impacting everything. We want to make sure that we're doing our best to really get our teams up and running, up and going, and really overcoming things where we're not having to jump in and we're not a glorified seller or an overpaid seller. We're really the ones helping our teams actually learn and become true sellers, true masters of their craft, right? We want them to not just follow our footsteps, but also learn and be able to pass that to others so that we can grow faster and not have as many hurdles when it comes to succeeding as a whole. Uh, and I get it when we're working with smaller organizations. Oftentimes, we feel that we just don't have the resources available, whether individually or that the company doesn't have the resources available to be able to assist us to truly become successful as leaders as much as we can. Okay. Uh, and that's what we want to solve. That's what we want to talk about. In today's conversation, typically, or really is about the mid-month slump, right? It's super important right now. We literally are mid-month, um, and we're going through, and you probably already see it. You see your teams probably start off like a big bang, and right now it's kind of like the lull, and then they're going to wait until the last week of the month to really push through on trying to hit their goals, on trying to be, uh, successful with what they're doing. And that's what we want to avoid. Because when we take our foot off the gas that way, it doesn't help us. It doesn't allow our teams to really be successful with what they could accomplish. Instead, it leaves a lot of room for missed opportunities. And part of that is going to fall on us as leaders because what are we doing to ensure that our teams are actually successful, that they're actually accomplishing what they need to do? Do they have the support from us? Are they getting the support that they need? Are they getting the training and developing that they deserve? Okay. Um, so most of the time, just if you guys are wondering, the mid-month slump, it's a natural occurrence um, when you're not leading. That's how you know whether you have good leadership in place or not, or whether your leadership needs assistance or not, because mid-month slumps happen because there's a lull in performance. I'm not saying your team's always going to be 24/7 on fire where they're constantly performing at high levels. Okay, that's just not humanly possible. We need to have some kind of breaks in between. But to have that slump in the middle, if it's a consistent thing, you as a leader have to look internally and be like, okay, I do need to switch things up. I need to find out what I can do to really support my team because that's what they're pretty much telling you is that we're not really getting support from you as a leader. So we don't know what direction to go with. We started off strong and then kind of the numbers have been dwindling down. We're going to come up with excuses um, to, allow the numbers to be that. And that's what we want to avoid. Okay. Now, part of the reason this happens is because energy dips around mid-month. Okay. And that's why it's important that we're coming in, training and developing. We don't want to be cheerleaders. We don't want to be, rah, 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 and, try to cheer people up to perform better. We need things that are sound. We need things that are going to help revitalize and energize their performance. Because, like I said, to have your teams constantly performing at top tier, it's not humanly possible. You need to have breaks. You need to be able to not rest on your laurels, but you need to be able to take a step back, breathe, and be able to come back revitalized. So we got to do that. And the way we do it is through training, through performance. We don't want them to feel like, okay, it's normal for yourselves to slump mid-month because what we allow to be normal is what's going to be normal. So if that is what you tell your team that, okay, it's okay for you guys to have mid-month slumps every single month, I'm just going to come down on you and be constantly pestering you guys like, hey, what's up with your numbers? What's up with performance? What's up with your store? I don't want to do that. I don't want to micromanage. I'm not here to be a micromanager. I'm here to help you become a better individual, become a better seller, become a better overall person. Um, and this is what we're going to do, right? We're going to focus on training. We're going to focus on developing. We're going to help you really become better. And these are the things that we're going to do. So stop reacting to mid-month slumps and start being proactive. Start leading through it and see your team really perform to a degree that you didn't think they were capable of. Because remember, whatever you think is possible for your team is what's going to happen. So if you believe in your mind that they just will not be able to perform at that level, guess what? They will live up to those expectations. They will not perform at that level. But when you got your team and you have that innate feeling like, okay, my team has the capability of performing. What am I missing? What do I need to do from my end to make sure that they can hit that goal, that they can attain it? What can I do to support them? You're pretty much talking about the same thing, but see where the difference in the mindset from a leader comes from? You're not blaming things on the team. You're not saying that they can't do it. You're saying they're capable of doing it. What is missing that I can assist them with to be able to get them to that performance? And that's what we really want to focus on doing with our teams. Now, the slump happens because you stop coaching on urgency, right? The beginning of the month is full of goals, it's full of hype. You got typically either new promos that are coming out or new sales that are happening. If you guys don't know, in retail, you always go season to season. It doesn't matter what, if we're in boutique retail like we're talking about in wireless and AV and appliances, there's always seasonalities to it. And typically you have between 8 to 12 seasons, right? 8 to 12 sales that are going to happen throughout the year. Right now, we're kind of towards the tail end of the spring sales. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to jump into not just summer sales, right? Depending on who you're with, you're talking about summer sales, you're talking about Mother's Day sales, you're talking about Father's Day sales, you're talking about end of school year, right? You have kind of things are being lumped together. So you're driven through sales, and that's what you're talking about. You don't ever want to have that mid-month slump happen because you know it's silent. Crickets are what you hear from your team. Now, as a great leader that you are capable of doing, being, right? You don't let that happen. You don't allow mid-month slumps, right? You relaunch the month at halftime. Think of it that way. Okay. You don't wait till the end of the month and start panicking like, hey, we got to hit, we got to hit, we got to hit. You were 110% to go at the beginning of the month. Now you're trending 93% to go. We really got to, no, it shouldn't be any of that. It should be we started off strong, you're trending 100, 110% to go. We continue to push through mid-month, you're actually trending 115, 120% to goal. That way we can finish strong, either close to that 120 or at the worst, we're still above 100%. But we didn't have to worry about, all right, we really got to step on the gas. We really got to push forward on this. No, we were just continually driving and moving forward. Now, what can you do to kind of help with that, the mid-month launch? What are some things that you could do, right? You can think of it like a reset huddle almost, right? Take a look, see what's working. Take a look and see where you're off, and then readjust the goal. This is why when I talk about the 15-minute framework, I'm talking about twice a month. Because at the beginning of the month, you're setting your goals, what you want to achieve, what you want to hit. And then mid-month, you can readjust based on what we are attaining and what we're not attaining. So we can reset. It's not, all right, this is what you said, and I'm going to come back at the end of the month. You didn't hit it, you suck. No, none of that. That's not what we do as leaders. That's not what we do as coaches. It's like, you know what? We fell short. We're falling short. So let's readjust. Okay. So instead of this position, let's go ahead and readjust. It could be something as simple as when you're bringing things up. It could be something as simple as when you're talking about a certain, product, certain service. You can readjust, and it allows them to do that and gives them time to actually readjust what they've been doing so that they can perform at a better level. That's the most important thing. Okay. And these don't take very long time. That's, I think, the most missed opportunity that we have as leaders. I get it. You feel that your company doesn't have the resources to support you as a leader, that they don't give you the training, they don't give you the development. I get it. I've been there before. I didn't wait for the company to give me something. I took it upon them and said, "Hey, you know what? I got this. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I need to be better for my team. Let's go ahead and do something for them. What can I do as a leader to really perform better?" And that's what I would do. Okay. It's ridiculous number of courses I've gone through, the number of mastermind groups, things like that I've belonged to that helped me get to where I was comfortable being with the leader, right? Or being as a leader. And the whole process, even to now, is still being a student of the game. You're still learning. You're still going to be developing new uh, trainings, new ways to coach, lead, right? You're going to change your style. So much can happen, but it feels so, I don't want to say inspirational, but once you get there and once you start seeing the change that you can have in people's lives, the impact that you can do, it's like, okay, yeah, I want to do more of this, right? Um, and that's when the coaching really, really starts taking off for you, right? Mid-month is when you coach kind of like the underdogs. You're going in, you start off, and then you feel like, okay, mid-month, we're having this slump. Look at it as you're an underdog. We're going to come out, we're going to, we're not going to stop swinging. We're going to give it all, and we're going to give everything we can to make sure that we're top, right? You don't need to motivate your top performers because they're already doing it. They're doing things like this on their own. Your team, your staff that isn't performing to that level, it's not that they're not capable of it. I've said this before. It's that they haven't been taught this. They haven't been trained on this. They haven't developed this skill. Remember, we're helping people develop new neural pathway connections. It takes time. It takes repetition to be able to retain that information and make it a habit and make it an actual muscle that gets used. And that's what you're doing. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? They're underdogs, but they're going to come out on top because they're capable of doing it. And you're showing them that, you know what, I believe that you're capable of doing this because I'm spending time in training and developing you. I'm not wasting my time. I don't want you to feel like you're wasting your time. I don't want you to feel like you're wasting my time. I want you to become better, and this is what we're going to do to become better. Coaching session. Have those conversations. Help train them up. Help them get developed. And you would be surprised at what your reps can do, what your team can truly accomplish, right? And I've said it before, don't focus on a multitude of things when you're doing your coaching sessions. You shouldn't be focusing on more than three things at a time. And when you're doing your follow-up coaching sessions, it's really just the one thing that you want to really focus on. You want to have that one habit, that one keystone metric that you can revolve everything around, and that makes a difference. So focus on one rep, focus on one metric, one move to get those small wins fast. And when you get those wins in, they're going to keep coming and coming and coming, and you're going to love it more than anything. Your teams are going to love it, and they're going to do more of it because they're seeing results faster. They're seeing results that actually work, and it's not making them really push and, in their eyes, create a lot more output, a lot more work for themselves to get that done. No, instead, they're, you know what? I got this. I can do this. Why haven't I been doing this before? It just clicks in their head, and it's like an aha moment. And that's what we want to get with. That's what we want them to see. Because when they see that and they feel it, it's an endorphin rush, guys. I want more of that. I can do it. It's this easy. Let me continue to do it. Boom. That's how you guys get there. Now, momentum isn't this magical fancy thing that just happens out of nowhere. Momentum is manufactured. You create momentum. Leaders who win the mid-month slump build momentum through micro wins, through small wins, recognition, and through a rhythm, right? You're not randomly doing things. You've got a schedule, you got a rhythm that you're following. Your team understands it. When you're doing coaching, they have a better understanding. Is your team going to know how you're doing your coaching sessions the first time you do it with them? No. They'll learn. You'll learn. And as they get more comfortable with it, they'll understand it and it'll be easier. And in less than 15 minutes, you got your coaching session and they're back on track and they're back on goal and they're killing it. And that's what we want them to do. Okay. Uh, you want to interject the energy throughout the week. It shouldn't be something that just waits once a month or twice a month. Your store leaders, your team leaders, they should be the ones really getting after it. And you got to coach them. You got to train your trainers to be able to do this. That's the most important thing for you as a district leader, for you as a regional director, to get your teams to do this on their own by training and developing them. But you have to lead by example and do it yourself first. If you own a small business and you have a couple of stores and you're trying to figure out why your team can't perform unless you're there doing a visit, unless you're there at the store, you think your team is, no, your team's not fucking lazy. You got to spend time training and developing them. It happens. That is the job that you signed up for. It doesn't matter if you're a district, a regional VP, the owner. This is what you signed up for. This is what it involves. You need to train and develop them to be able to get there. That is how it happens, guys. Spending time coaching, recognizing, having a set rhythm that your team can really follow through with. You guys will see them just get better at what they're doing. And they're going to love it because they're getting better results. And in their minds, it's with less effort than they've done before. So not only are they getting better results, but they don't feel that they're putting in as much effort as they were before. So it becomes easier. And at that intersection, that cross section, that's where they really start and see that performance. And you're going to see that spike go up. And you don't have to worry about mid-month slumps. You don't have to worry about middle of the month, we're sucking. Middle of the month, we're falling behind. No, we're hitting our targets. We're getting our targets. They're making their money. They're making their commission. Their clients are happy because now they got somebody who actually gives a damn about what they're doing, who's actually giving them the correct facts, isn't making shit up, right? You're not getting those customer complaints. It's something that they're super ecstatic about. And it's a win-win for everybody involved. And that's what we want to get to. That's what we want to get after. Okay. So you don't have a performance problem with your teams if you're going through a mid-month slump. You have a momentum problem, and you as a leader have the capabilities to solve it. And if you need something to help push you to that, take a look at the link in the bio, take a look at the description, and grab that 15-minute framework, use it. And if you have any questions on it, feel free, reach out to me, right? Leave a comment, send a DM, send me an email, and boom, we'll help you become that leader that you want to be, the leader that your team deserves, and you're going to stop stressing as much as you've been. So, guys, I want to say thank you once again for stepping into another episode of the Sales Manager Academy podcast. I'm Omar, and I'll catch you on the next one.